Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of Michigan Chronicle News Now. I'm digital anchor Andre Ash coming to you this week from Grand Rapids, Michigan, the city that has come under the spotlight and its police department under heavy criticism for a police-involved shooting that cost the life of Patrick La Hoya during a traffic stop that escalated into the officer firing his shot, shooting him while in a physical altercation. Now, prominent civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump was in town to meet with the victim's family, and we've got reaction and footage from today.
When you think about all the things he could have done
na ukikumbuka ukiangalia vitu yote mzuri yenye angifanya
to avoid shooting Patrick
na kwenda asimupige Patrick masasi
in the back of the head.
kumupiga masasi nyuma ya kichwa.
Just think about that for a second.
Mimi nataka ufikirie kwanza ile kwa dakika.
This officer,
Huyu ofisier,
failed to follow the basic training.
my heart is really deeply broken.
Sikuwa najua kama katika hii nchi
I didn't believe that in this country
kama kuko genocide.
that there is a genocide in this country.
Sikukuwa najua.
I didn't know.
Sikukuwa najua kama hapa mwa nchi
I didn't know that here in America
kunaweza kuwa execution ya mtu kwa kumuua.
there can be an execution style to kill someone.
Definitely a lot of emotion from the family and protesters who have been on the ground from the very beginning, calling for the police department to release the video footage that shows the dash cam video, portions of the officer's body-worn camera, and also a video surveillance footage from a nearby home which captured the situation. But protesters have been ramping up across the city, and now this shooting is just another situation of a story that has become national because of what many deem as excessive force by officers against a black individual. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops, certainly, and as the community calls for accountability on this officer, as well as charges to be filed. Right now, the Michigan State Police Department is taking up this investigation and will announce or make some type of decision once, of course, their investigation is complete. All right, get to the paper this week. The front page cover talks about the race for the 13th, and that's the 13th congressional district race, which has a lot of people in it. And our Donald James does a deep dive into the candidates in the race and the issues that they are fighting for. So you don't want to miss that in this week's front page cover. Also covering the lifestyle section, or the city lifestyle rather, it talks about the 5 ways to spring clean your routine. Yeah, spring is here, so it is definitely time to get into it. All the different mechanisms and unique ways to be creative about spring cleaning this season. And also, our Sherry Kalani has a great story in the city lifestyle section, which talks about where are the best places for Black people to live. You may be surprised. You don't want to miss that story and a whole lot more in this week's newspaper edition of the Michigan Chronicle. More news now when we come back. And a story that I think you'll like when it comes to celebrating Detroit's art and culture.
News, entertainment, our events, digital content. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is Michigan Chronicle. Follow us at MichiganChronicle.com.
All right, welcome back to Michigan Chronicle News Now. You know, the city of Detroit did something new and special this week. It really highlighted and celebrated Detroit artists and creatives over the past 25 years plus. And it held its first inaugural Detroit Ace Honors. And I had a chance to be in the room to highlight, as they highlighted these special people in our community. Take a look.
You're looking at the inaugural class of 16 recipients of the Detroit ACE Honors, the special ceremony celebrating artists who have contributed 25 years or more to arts and culture in Detroit.
They are the depth and breadth of Detroit's creative genius. I'm talking sculpture and painting and metalworks and poetry and jazz. I think that what we've got is to make sure that people see us and see all the things that we do, and then it's going to be easier for them to understand we need to celebrate and support it.
One of the recipients celebrating the recognition was Deborah White Hunt, a dancer and choreographer helping train a generation of young dance artists for more than 3 decades through the Detroit Windsor Dance Academy.
It's a wonderful feeling. It's a great feeling to be surrounded by so many of the beautiful, talented people that are in Detroit, and to be honored is just the icing on the cake.
The first annual ACE Awards is modeled after the Kennedy Center Awards. It's a part of the City of Detroit's vision to promote and sustain the city's creative workforce, including fine and performing artists.
I want people to look back in history and know this is where it started, that we began to give Detroit artists their due. This is the most important thing we can do to really recognize the genius that's here.
And paving the way for future creative geniuses to come. In Detroit, Andre Ash, Michigan Chronicle.
All right, celebrating some jewels in our community. Well, thanks so much for watching this week's edition of Michigan Chronicle News Now, coming to you from Grand Rapids, Michigan, as we continue to cover the tragic shooting and killing, therefore, of Patrick Loya, killed by Grand Rapids police after a traffic stop that has now caught the nation's attention, and a story that we will continue to follow 24 hours a day on our website at MichiganChronicle.com and the platforms of Real Times Media. Thanks so much for joining us on the grounds from Grand Rapids, Michigan this week. I'm digital anchor Andre Ash. We'll see you back here next week for News Now. Follow us anytime at MichiganChronicle.com, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.